Hi, it's Bedrest Coach Darline Turner-Lee here. Welcome, and I'm so happy to see you. I took a little time off this summer and I'm back. So, really happy to be back, happy to see everyone, and happy to be back doing what I love best, talking about what's best for high risk pregnant women. Today, it's almost as if we're going back a little bit in time, but I've been reading some articles and just really wanted to reiterate the point that mamas, you need to take care of yourself first. I happened to be on a forum yesterday and I was listening to, well, reading, I guess I should say, because it was online. The various women like, well, I'm doing this for the baby, and I'm making sure I'm doing this and that, and that's great, well and good, and I am a huge proponent of taking care of yourself to take care of your child. But the best thing that you can do for your child is to take care of yourself. What you do for yourself is going to have a huge, major impact on not only your infant's health, but their health throughout the rest of their lives. I just did a blog post, my last blog post, which was talking about how what a mother does influences her baby's health. And you can read that blog post at mamasonbedrest.com in the blog section. But in a nutshell, it's really a post about a new science called epigenetics. And I just find it absolutely fascinating because epigenetics, and I had to write it down so I wouldn't mess it up, is the study of the environmental effects that help program our genes. Now, when I first read it, I was like, what the hell are they talking about? But what it is when we moms are carrying our babies and they're developing and growing, and they have, 23 of our husband's chromosomes and 23 of ours, and their genes and things are all forming. Yes, they have certain predispositions to things just genetically. But what happens is, because of the environment that we create as we're gestating our babies, we can up some cues, up some genes, if you will, depress some others. I mean, what we do now actually has an effect, and the effect can be long lasting all the way through their adult years and affect things such as whether or not they have a propensity towards obesity, whether or not they have hormonal problems, whether or not they're stressful or fearful, anxious type of people, what have you. I mean, it's really, really interesting. According to the references that I read, and I have to say I didn't write those all down. You can, again, read it on that particular blog post. According to the researchers, what happens is as we're gestating our babies and their genes are developing and expressing themselves, creating the little people that we have, little markers and little other chemical things kind of attached to the genes, and they will influence how those genes are expressed as our children are human living people. So it's really interesting in that right now what we're eating, how we're sleeping, how we're managing stress, how we're reacting to medications if we're on medications, is all being taken in. And I think we kind of instinctively know that because everything that happens to the mom, we say yes, it happens to the baby. But I don't know if we really recognize before the study of epigenetics how that interaction was taking place. According to the researchers, again, sometimes chemicals are being found in traces in the amniotic fluid. They're seeing traces of different things, whether it be hormones or other neurochemicals, what have you, in the mother's bloodstream. Well, we know the mother's blood goes through the umbilical cord and goes to the baby, so it then becomes part of the baby's bloodstream. And however it then gets incorporated into the baby's system, here we go. But it's a fascinating topic and a fascinating subject. But what really struck me was how in the articles I was reading, they were talking about how what we're doing right now as moms gestating babies, you right there on bed rest, can be having an effect on how your child ages. What's going to be going on with them in their 50s and 60s, perhaps. I mean, it's just wild. Here, this baby isn't even here, and what you could be doing could be affecting them in their old age. So with that, I really, again, want to reiterate and just drive home the point. It is critical that you take care of yourself first. I mean, yes, take whatever vitamins and things you need to take for your baby. In fact, that was one of the things they recommended. Prenatal vitamins are essential. The babies need the extra nutrients, and so doesn't your body, to be able to gestate a healthy baby. But don't forget to do things that you need to do for yourself. And so in that vein, I want to highlight some of the things I highlighted in the blog, but I really want to just drive that point home. So we're going to talk about reducing stress. I mean, stress, for a mother on bed rest, I think stress is probably one of the number one issues. I mean, you're going along one day, maybe you're feeling great, you go in for a prenatal visit, and they're like, your cervix is shortened, and all of a sudden you're on bed rest. Or your blood pressure's up, and all of a sudden you're on bed rest. You may not have felt a thing. You may be thinking, hey, everything's great. And this happens. And then it's very stressful because it's like, well, is this something I did? What should I be doing? At that point, you got to kind of let that go. Let it go. Who knows why it's happening? What happened? Did you drink a Coke or something? I don't know. Let that go. Reduce your stress, because what happens is when you get stressed and you start driving those adrenal and neurochemicals for that fight or flight response, those same neurochemicals, as we said, are going through your bloodstream, going into the baby, may possibly be getting in through some of the amniotic fluid, but in any event, your baby is getting a heightened fight or flight response. What the researchers that I was reading had then said is, as individuals and as adults, they may become more anxious people because they have a sensitivity to stress and to stimuli. Now, I don't want to sit here and make y'all feel like, well, great, now, I'm causing my kid to be a head case. No, that's not what I'm saying. But I am saying, if you are thinking of doing something, not only for yourself, because you don't need to be stressed, bring your stress down. It'll not only help you, it will help your baby. Get some rest. Now, oh gosh, everybody's like, oh, you're on bed rest, you just get to lay around all day. All of us know within a day or two, your back starts hurting, your hips start hurting, your neck starts aching, this, that, and the other thing. It is not the leisurely day at the spa everybody makes it out to be. Do what you need to get rest. And I'm going to just say right now, my next blog post, which is going to be a video blog as well, is we're going to go over again how to get comfortable, things you need to do, things, little stretches, little maneuvers that you can do so that you can be comfortable, so that you really can rest. But rest is so important. One, because your body is just doing an amazing job of taking care of you, taking care of all of your bodily functions, and then growing a baby. I mean, you're growing a whole freaking human, thinking about it. I mean, 10 fingers, 10 toes, fingernails, eyelashes, all the little, everything that you can possibly think of that we have, you're doing right now. The amount of energy that your body is expending right now is just phenomenal. Get some rest. Eat well. Now, I say this tongue in cheek, because with my daughter, I think I could eat 10 things. I was so sick the entire time I had her, and it's no wonder she loves to eat now. The child probably felt like she was never going to eat again. But I just couldn't eat. Every time I ate, I either threw up, or I felt so lousy and felt like I was going to throw up that I was miserable. And then I was very sensitive to smells, very sensitive to tastes and textures on my tongue. So it was very hard for me to eat while I was pregnant with her. And, I have to say, I probably didn't have the best diet when I was pregnant with her. And now this kid can out-eat me. She's 9, and it's hilarious. Thank God she's healthy. Thank God she's growing well. She's thriving. But I had a crap diet when I was pregnant with her. I think I could eat like applesauce, oatmeal, hot dogs of all things, apple juice, crackers. I mean, and there were like 1 or 2 other things. I just couldn't tolerate anything else. And, thankfully she eats a wide range of things. But according to the geneticists, I think those are the people who study epigenetics, when you can't eat a lot and you're pregnant, your baby will actually put on a little subcutaneous layer of fat, because they're thinking, oh, I'm going to live in a place where there's not a lot of food. I better store up now so that I'll be good once I get out there. Well, lo and behold, the baby gets out, you feel better, they feel better, we feed them as we normally would, and then they still have this kind of native layer of subcutaneous fat, which then can put them at, I don't want to say increased risk, but have more of a propensity for overeating and obesity as they get older. So no, I'm not saying, oh, you're making your baby fat, but with the worry and the stress and feeling sick, if you're not eating well, it's not doing the best for your baby. I had no idea about this. I figured I'll eat those 10 things I can eat. I did what I could. I have to admit, my daughter's chubby now. Who knows? I'm reading this thinking, oh my God, did I do this to her? I can't do anything about it now. What I do is I do try to teach her to eat healthily, to make good, healthy food choices. I did what I could. But I'm saying for the women who are, I don't want to gain too much weight. I don't know what other thoughts. But 9 times out of 10 in the women I speak to, it's, I'm so worried about X, whether it be job, whether it be house, whether it be finance, that they don't eat. Please try and get that under control for your health and for your baby's health. And this is, it goes along with stress reduction, keeping those neurochemicals and things down, keeping, other kind of toxins in the environment down. Get help. Ask for help. A lot of people saying, well, I can't afford to have someone come in. No, you can't afford that. But maybe you can ask a neighbor to stop by. Maybe there's someone at a church, someone you know. I say this tongue in cheek because when I was going through my ordeals, having my children, I didn't have anybody either. My parents live on the East Coast. I'm down here in Texas. I didn't have anybody. My husband was traveling at times. I was on my own. I should have asked for more help. I didn't. Again, I look at my kids and I thank God every day they seem to be normal. But, looking back with hindsight, looking back with what I know, I think, gosh, like my next door neighbor right next door is great. Maybe I should have asked her to step in on me every now and again. Or, made more friends. I don't know. Hindsight's 20/20. But what I'm saying to you is, if you can, if you know people, if you have resources, if there are people that can just check on you, have them do it. The good thing is now there is a lot of online support. You can call me. You can email me, info@mamasonbedrest.com. I'm here. There are some great forums. Keep them cooking. My friend Angela has a phenomenal forum. Go on. Talk to people. Get it out. See what other moms are doing. See how other moms are coping. Baby Center, another great forum. Go on. Talk to people. Get it out. Go on Twitter. Go on Facebook. I had a mom who was posting from her blog on my Facebook page. Fine. And I loved talking with her, hearing about what was going on with her pregnancy when she went from home to hospital bed rest, seeing what happened. But, get it out. If you need to talk. Again, we are here, info@mamasonbedrest.com. We have a Facebook page, Mamas on Bedrest and Beyond. Twitter, I'm @mamasonbedrest. Feel free, but don't sit there and wallow. If you are stressed, if you're not eating, if you're not resting, none of this is doing you any good. It's not doing your baby any good. And in the long term, it can have potentially serious consequences. And it just doesn't need to happen. So that's my little spiel. It's been a really interesting read. I do recommend that you read my blog. Let me see what it was called. I can't even remember. Hold on. What is my own blog called? Mamas on Bed Rest. Get your babies off to a healthy start. Do it. It's great. It's awesome. If I do say so myself. Not so much because I wrote it and everything, but the information, what these researchers are talking about, it's fascinating. It's absolutely fascinating that little changes that we could make right now can have lifelong effects on our babies. It's phenomenal. So I recommend that you read that. It's at mamasonbedrest.com in the blog section. And again, if there is anything that I can do to help you, if you're feeling stressed, if you feel like you have nowhere to turn, if you're just unsure, info@mamasonbedrest.com, on Twitter @mamasonbedrest, or our Facebook page, which is Mamas on Bedrest and Beyond. So that's all I have for you today. I'm Darline Turner-Lee, Bedrest Coach, and I am here for you mamas because we are going to have some great babies. But first and foremost, you have to take care of yourself. I'm here to help anytime. Have a great day. Bye-bye.